Hi, this is Scott Jordan, and you are watching live here at Cellars of Sonoma in beautiful Railroad Square, Santa Rosa, California.
Waiting for the break of day, searching for something to say, flashing lights against the sky, giving up, I close my eyes, sitting cross-legged on the floor. 25 or 6 to 4. Staring blindly into space, getting up to splash my face, wanting just to stay away, wondering how much I can take.
And good evening, everybody. This is TV Tuesday Live. This is the show where we talk about wine, we taste wine, and I get the privilege to interview winemakers and chefs and people in the hospitality business. But today, it's Valentine's Day, so I've got my Valentine with me tonight, and I want to introduce to you my wife, Angie Jordan. Honey, happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, thank you.
And
Happy Valentine's
we're
Day
gonna
to you.
celebrate the right way with Valentine's Day, right?
Sounds
and it
good.
always should start with some bubbles. What we're gonna do tonight, this is gonna be kind of fun. What we're gonna do is we're gonna taste through the wines. We've got some chocolates and we have some cupcakes that we'll talk about how they were made and what's in them. And then you guys that are watching live or the people that are here visiting the tasting room, you need to come up with the good Valentine's Day story, right?
Right.
Or a bad Valentine's Day story. We'll judge it throughout the course of the broadcast. At the end, we'll pick a winner for the best and the worst Valentine's moment or story. So give us your stories. This is the time for you to really let it rip.
What did they get?
Oh, and then, thanks. Thank God you're here. So what you get is you get a bottle of sparkling brut rosé for $1. So you can't go wrong with that. You do have to give us $1. We will send it to you, no problem at all, right?
Yeah.
And they will love it. So that's going to be what our show is all about. It's all about Valentine's Day. And we went out earlier today and did a little scouting on some cupcakes and stuff, which we'll talk about. So let's go right to the first wine. This is a 2010 Russian River Brut. Angie, tell us a little bit about that and about the chocolate we're going to taste with that.
So this, as Scott said, 2010 Russian River Valley Brut sparkling wine, and it is, I think, a Brut sparkling wine goes with pretty much anything. But tonight we have Amorosa Bella's dark chocolate. It's a sweet and savory chocolate, and we're going to be pairing it with this Brut. It's actually been infused with the Brut. So we felt that chocolate and sparkling goes perfect with Valentine's Day. So we're going to start with that.
And when you come to the tasting room, okay, when we come in the tasting room, you can buy these chocolates that we sell 6 to a pack. What is there? How many is in there?
6.
6 to a pack here, and then we have another little tin that we sell with 2 packages in there,
Right.
and you get to keep the little box, which is kind of fun.
Yep.
And so you can buy these in the tasting room. What's interesting about these that kind of threw me off when I first tasted them, they have a little bit of sea salt, right? Is that what's on here?
Right. They're sweet and savory. They've got it's dark chocolate, and then it's topped with some sea salt. And so you've got the sweetness of the caramel and the sea salt that gives it that savory.
Love it. And it works so well with sparkling wine. All right, so we have our first story right out of the gate. So we're going to go to Kevin while I taste this and come up with the first story. Let's see how that works.
So Dan's is the first one. His was 2 years ago. Lori prepaid a trip to Napa, Sonoma, all paid, and he had no clue.
Nice.
That's
a great story.
That's a great gift.
Wow. You're one-upping me, big boy. Holy smokes, that's pretty darn good.
That's good.
Wow. Of course, I could do that every week, so I guess I don't. There's a second part to it? Okay, there's more to the story. All right, go to Kevin. Let's see what the story is.
Wheeled out the luggage. I opened it, and inside was a wine bottle and 2 glasses and maps of the wine country.
Wow.
So my question then to Dan is, what kind of bottle of wine was it? Does he remember? Okay. So Dan,
Yeah.
great question. That's a really good one.
That is
I like
good.
that. Right?
I like that too.
Wow.
Oh.
But you wouldn't be that impressed if I gave you a trip to Napa and Sonoma.
Well, I think you're going to have to go a little further than that.
Yeah.
Maybe Italy, France.
Italy, France. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Well, there you go. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Dan. Thanks for opening up that cavern, my friend. Holy smokes. So sparkling wine. We really love sparkling wine. One of the things my wife talks about all the time is you really enjoy sparkling wine.
I do.
It really becomes the beginning of your meal, right?
Right?
I mean, it's a palate cleanser.
It can be a palate cleanser and an aperitif. Exactly. Yeah.
It was a Russian River Pinot Noir. He doesn't remember the brand?
The nice thing about this is that it's a very crisp flavor. It's clean, crisp. It's got a tiny hint of pear, a little bit of fig, but it's really crisp, and it goes with anything for any occasion.
No, but with the chocolate, and the sea salt really works in there quite nicely. Mm-hmm. And it's not overpowering, but they complement each other because it was infused with that, right? When we made the chocolates, it's got the sparkling. Yep. This is a blend too, right? This has what, 25%? 75%
Chardonnay, 25% Pinot Noir.
Pinot Noir. So great bottle of wine, $30 retail price. My Cellar Club members, if you're a club member, you get that for $25.50. If you're in the room tonight, you need to get a bottle for your sweetie. We've got a 30% discount on both of the Amorosa Bella Sparklings tonight, right?
That's right.
Okay, that's very cool.
Yep.
We have another question. Did you have a question? Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Kevin. We're going to go to Kevin.
Gazelle asks, curious, what's the percentage of cocoa in the chocolate? I would think a dry red would pair best.
Oh,
wow.
Well, that's funny. It's a matter of taste. I actually don't know the amount of cocoa, but I think anyone that loves chocolate and loves wine, sparkling wine, to me, it doesn't matter because they go together. And
well, and I know that Charlene, the owner of Amorosa Bella and the founder of the winery, she told us that when they were making it, they had a real problem with the bubbles. Because it was just making that mix just explode.
Right.
And so there was a lot of tuning in to get it dialed in just right. But I think it nailed it. And it's not overpowering at all. It's a very nice compliment to the wine.
And I do agree with the comment. I would taste dark chocolate with red wine any day of the week as well. So they're both great.
By the way, Dan says it was Hook and Ladder's third alone.
So the answer was a Hook and Ladder. Very nice. Wow, where did she find that? That's a real small production wine, small winery on Olivet Road, right down the street from where we are right here, Hook and Ladder. Yep. So I don't think he makes a whole lot of wine. Just as a little point of interest, in case you wanted to know, Hook and Ladder, the owner of that, created Deloach wines, and that's Cecil Deloach's.
That's right.
New winery, his winery, and Hook and Ladder making nice wines out of Russian River. So, Dan, thanks a lot. That's a good story. So right now, Dan is the winner, but we got other stories, so we'll have to see, right?
Yep.
And we have other wines. So. Let's go to our next wine. So let me. I'm just gonna finish mine because that's the way I am. Now we're gonna stay with sparkling wine. This is Amorosa Bella's other sparkling. This is a Brut Rosé. So the reverse here, you've got
Yep.
what, 75% Pinot Noir and 25 Chardonnay. Okay, and let me just pour a little bit of this for you. Nice, beautiful color,
It is.
right?
Yep.
So
pretty.
today, my wife and I, my Valentine and I went, and we went down to a little shop in town here
Yeah.
called Sift.
Sift.
Did I call it right?
Yeah. you
Okay, I
did.
kept calling it Swift, but it's not. It's Sift, right? Sift?
Sift.
Sift. And it's what it is, it's a, sorry, Andy. My producer, Andrew Jordan, also one of our Valentines.
That's right.
And Kevin back here is our Valentine for today.
Absolutely.
But this little shop, they make nothing but cupcakes, right? And they do all kinds, any kind of cupcake you can think of, they've got it in there, right?
She does. And she was actually a winner on Food Network's Cupcake Wars. And she opened up this beautiful shop here in Santa Rosa. And so we got to go in, taste through some of the wonderful cupcakes, and we chose 3.
Yeah, and
Taste.
what we're going to do here is we're gonna taste something that normally when you think about dessert, you're thinking about a port or a late harvest wine, and really you can really enjoy still wines and sparkling with some little sweet things. So maybe you're
Absolutely.
having a glass of wine at home, and maybe you already had dinner, you didn't have a big dessert. Well, you had one of these cupcakes left over from a visit over to that Sift place. Right? Did I say it right?
Yeah, Sift. Okay.
So yeah, then you get to enjoy that, and you got to tell everybody about that one. This retail price on this wine, by the way, is $32, $27.20 from the Cellar Club. We got another story from Kevin, our correspondent.
Kimberly Dietrich said, "My 2 friends, Rachel Swan and Rachel Gill, won a gay fantasy wedding on the last season of Tyra Banks' show for Valentine's Day in New York."
Wow.
That's
They
cool.
won it? They won it? They won it.
That had to be
Wow.
exciting.
Okay.
Nice.
Wow. How long was the vacation? They didn't say?
Cheers to
Okay,
them.
well, here's cheers to them. Here's cheers to my Valentine. And this is what are you going to do? Oh, before I devour it? Yeah, because it's pretty cool. Now, tell everybody about this, Ange. It's called the Ooh La La
It's Ooh La La, and it's a red velvet cake with cream cheese.
with cream cheese. So we think
Oh, yeah.
that's going to pair up nicely with
right.
this sparkling
And
Brut
there's
Rosé.
cake behind there for everyone.
Yeah, the guests that are in the tasting room, whoops. Yeah, they're getting a chance to taste this. So let me try this red velvet with a nice sparkling rosé. I'll tell you what,
I love
that really works. Now, there is some sweetness because of the frosting.
But I love how it complements the fruit that's coming out in the sparkling, that little tiny hints of strawberry.
Yeah,
And you can taste a little tiny bit of that Pinot Noir.
yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So there's an unusual pairing that you don't normally see, and a great way to use a sparkling wine as part of your meal.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta love it. Now, a couple things just so that you guys know what's coming up. We're planning big for the summer this year. We're going to have 2 lobster lunches. We're having our first lobster lunch June 16th over at the James family, at Denaw Vineyard, which is in Sebastopol, up on the hill. Absolutely majestic, gorgeous spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you wrong, Al. I told you wrong. And you're going to go to that. And then on August 25th, we'll be at the James family Vineyards. That one is in Cotati, just south of our location here. It's one of those events that when you go to it, you're just blown away. And then you never, ever want to miss one ever again. The Dunant is real small as far as the space we have to work with. So, you know, we're limited to about 30, 35 people. So that cannot balloon
nice
up.
intimate group, though.
Right?
That would be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And the event starts out with oysters on the half shell, artisan cheeses, and then they cook in big pots: lobster, shrimp, artichokes, potatoes, onion, corn on the cob. Yeah, and dump it out on the table. And I'll tell you what, nothing could be better than that. It's a magnificent event, paired up with the beautiful wines from Dunant and from James Family Cellars. We go to that one. We also have it set up so if the economy's got to you a little bit, don't worry about it. We can do an easy pay. You make 4 payments, charge your card each month for 4 payments, and it's paid for and you're done. So we'll be able to make sure that everyone can go to that event.
That's great.
So you're going to book a trip. Those of you calling in from other parts of the country, great event to go to. Did you have another? No, you're okay. All right. So I want to make sure you guys had that. So this cupcake, perfect.
Perfect. I think so.
Right with that.
Yeah.
That and the red cake in here is red velvet.
Yep.
I'm gonna have a little bit.
It's
Beautiful.
a dense cake. It's got the cream cheese. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that works. That works perfectly fine.
Yep.
And the name of the place is called Sift. So I think Sift.com will get you there. They can ship this stuff all over the country.
Yeah.
And they have, some really cool recipes. They do a really good job on that.
Yes, she does.
Now, one of the other things that we'll do, and then we'll move on to the next wine. We have been doing for the last year or so, we've been doing a blind tasting in the tasting room. So you come in the tasting room, you do a blind tasting of, currently it's Pinot Noir. Taste 4 Pinots, and then you try to pick out which Pinot we poured in each of the glasses. If you guess correctly, you get your tasting free. If you're a wine club member, you get a glass of wine from any of the 4 wines, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so hundreds of people have done this, and it's just gone wild. So what we've done is when you finish the tasting, we enter your name into a contest to buy a bottle of wine for $1. Now, there's a catch. And the catch is really simple. You have to be tuned in, like those of you that are watching right now. You can tune in on your smartphone, on your computer at home or at work. I can even get it on my smartphone while I'm driving down the freeway, but I can't do that.
So you don't do that?
No, we don't do that. Or be here in the tasting room. So we pull your name. If you're here or tuned in, you win. Real simple. If we don't get a winner, we add a bottle. Well, we didn't get a winner last week, although our neighbor Al, his wife's name got called, but she didn't call in. So we're tight on the rules. Yeah, we're tight on the rules. So you guys can't hear, but Al is a great neighbor and a wine club member, and he's in a play we just saw over at 6th Street Playhouse, and it's called Proof.
Yeah.
He was very, very good. But you got to be tuned in to win, and that's the deal. So what I'll do is I'll have my Valentine dig in here. This is becoming a gigantic group here. So we'll pull 2 names now and 2 at the end of the show. We'll see if we catch somebody that's in the room here.
That would be boss.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's see the first one, hon. Go ahead and read that one. What is that?
Lauren Hopkins.
A 202
area code.
Wow, 202. Not sure where that's from.
Oh, boy.
Lauren Hopkins.
Yep.
You just won 4 bottles of wine, but you got to send me $4 because even Al had to give me $4. Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Let's do one more. See if we
Okay.
can grab somebody from the room here. There's over 250 names in here, maybe even more than that. It's really amazing. Yeah, you only get one now.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Here we go. Allie Burnison, 707. That's local.
All right. Somebody local. Allie
Allie Burnison.
Burnison, give us a call. 707-578-1826, and you could be the winner of 4 bottles of wine for $4. Can't go wrong. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Okay.
I got my story. I've got an extra extension of this story.
Okay, there's a story. Let's go to Kevin while I grab the next wine.
So the prize for winning was 1 week for the wedding plus a 1 week honeymoon in Caraco. That was her gift.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow,
Dan,
that
this is
story
Dan?
just got that. That's
Kimberly.
the other.
Wow, that was spectacular.
Wow.
Would you be happy to win a 1 week vacation and a 1 week paid wedding? Well, yeah, but I want a story, man. I want a story, not a sentence.
But does Kimberly have a story of her own?
She was the bridesmaid.
She was the bridesmaid. Okay.
All right. I love that. All right. So.
Okay, well, it's going on for more.
All right.
Woo.
Okay.
The show was taped in New York. The wedding and reception were in Hartford, Connecticut.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
That was a big.
Dan,
big
you're in
deal.
trouble, dude. Dan, your whole thing is in deep trouble.
Yeah.
All right. Good stories. Keep them coming. And the bad ones work too. So if you got a bad one, we're okay.
Al's got one.
Al has a whole page.
I have a bad boss story.
Oh my gosh.
Ready, man?
Let me do this wine and then we're going to introduce Al and we're going to bring him in. All right.
Okay.
All right. So the next wine, this is something really unusual. And you got to be careful with a wine like this, right? Don't you think?
I think
it's
so.
a hint of sweetness. Are you okay with that shot there, Andy? So let's talk about the cupcake that you had to work with. Okay, this is a vanilla cake, right?
Yeah, it's like a Boston cream pie. It's like a mini Boston cream pie.
And so it's going to be limited to what you can go with. But the Moscato, for those of you that don't know, typically that's a sweeter wine. But Heidi Barrett is the winemaker. She makes this bone dry.
Mm-hmm.
The fruit, though, is quite vibrant. Part of the reason the fruit's so vibrant is it's a 2011. I mean, this is a pretty young wine.
Great nose.
Yeah, this is a 2011. Part of the fruit came from Napa. Part of it came from Paso Robles. Retail price on that is $30. And beautiful nose on that, right?
Beautiful. Yeah.
Oh. Well, let's see what this little. Oh, I'm sorry. You wanted to hear Andy. Andy wanted to show that Boston. Look at how pretty that is. That was a cupcake. We have the ones probably still together. We can show you a little bit later. Show you how pretty they looked when they were actual cupcakes.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh. Here's what they looked like before we devoured them. You gotta love that.
Red velvet and the
Red
Boston
velvet, man.
cream.
That was very cool.
The nice thing about this pairing is
Make sure they can hear you now, honey.
the dryness of it's a white, fluffy cake, but it's got that yummy, creamy middle section with a tiny hint of chocolate. And this is a nice dry wine with a tiny hint of sweetness.
Yes. And that worked excellent as well.
Yeah.
That was a really nice pairing. So here's another unusual scenario where you might say, well, we're not really looking at dessert. Maybe it's a snack. Maybe you're having a glass of wine. You got a cupcake that you got from the siftcompany.com or whatever they're
Sift. Yeah.
sift.com. And don't lean so heavy toward that immediate thought of a port, right?
Right. Well, right. And that's why I love her Moscato so much, is that it is a little drier. It's not sweet.
Right.
It's got its natural hint of sweetness,
Yeah,
but
you're
it's
getting
not
a hint of it,
overly
without a doubt. Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, bone dry. So if you like something like that, very refreshing. And those of you from the East Coast, you guys, you get all this crazy weird weather. Don't discount enjoying the white wines. Enjoy them. Kick the fire up and enjoy them. Don't wait till the summertime. I mean,
Right.
enjoy them while they're fresh.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got somebody in the room that I'm going to walk over and interview. So I'm going to interview our neighbor who has a story, and follow me, Andrew. Hopefully we can get a shot of Al. This is Al, our neighbor and friend. He's an actor, and we saw him. We saw him in a show on Saturday, and it was called Proof, and you did really well.
It's Proof. It's at the 6th Street Playhouse, which is about 3 blocks from here. It runs through February 26th, Thursdays through Sundays. Don't miss it. But here's my story. Enough about that.
All right.
Anyway,
Is this a good Valentine story or a bad one?
I would call it a good one.
All right.
But it is true.
Is
and
it?
it was funny because when Angie said, oh, you come up with a story, I'm thinking, I'm sitting there, and it just kind of entered my mind. It's a memory, and it's a true story. All right, here it is. When I was in the 2nd grade, I know you're really interested in this.
The 2nd grade.
I'm talking 1954, baby. I loved a girl named Kathy Bach. Kathy Bach, man, in Hyde Park in Chicago. We went to Kosminski School. I would sit in school. I would stare at her. I was like gaga over her. I was head over heels in love with this girl. It was a true story. I remember telling her untrue, well, nothing's untrue if you believe it. Fantastic stories about Rin Tin Tin was famous at the time. You know, it was big about my adventures. I was being chased by Indians, and I would jump on some horse, and I would gallop. Oh, I swear to God, I used to tell her this stuff, and it was crazy. Of course, I was not jumping on any horse. But that being said, I remember it was Valentine's Day, and I knew her address, and I walked around Chicago for like hours with these, those cheap Valentines you used to buy. You'd buy 30 of them in a box, and I picked out the best one for her, professing my undying love. And I swear to God, man, I walked all around Chicago in this neighborhood. I found like 57th and Kenwood or something, if you know Chicago. And I finally found her mailbox. I left this Valentine in her mailbox. And I swear to God, I walked, it seemed like miles to put this in her mailbox. So she lived in this Chicago bungalow. I put it in the mailbox. I slipped the Valentine in. It was the best of the bunch. I professed my love for her, and I spent the rest of 2nd grade holding hands with her in school. I can remember it was the only year I can remember fully enjoying going to school.
Wow. Wow.
Story, baby.
Wow.
That's
Excellent.
a great
Let's hear it
story.
for Al.
Yeah, that's
Woo,
a great story.
Man. Holy Toledo. Buddy, that was pretty good. Dan, you're dying, dude. Wow, the competition is up there. That is something.
We have a response to Al's story.
Oh, okay. Rhetoric.
She wants to.
Dazelle asked, if this is a true story, ask Al, why is he reading it from a transcript?
Because I just remembered it.
He wrote it.
Yeah,
And I saw him
and
write
we saw him write it. He actually was writing it on the back side of the tasting menu. Here, let me have that, Al. Yeah. Because he did the blind tasting. See, he did the blind tasting. Okay.
I just remembered, it's a recall.
And he was listening to this broadcast, and he goes, I got to write this story down. And he wrote it down. We watched him write it.
Although I have to say I respect that comment because I could have done it without the paper, and it would have been stronger, and that's a good point.
Okay. Okay, another comment. I love it.
We have a new guest here. It's actually Joseph Jewell, and they're saying, I think those cupcakes would go well with the Joseph Jewell Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh, we
yes.
almost picked
It's funny that you say that because right, we were really thinking that was the first thought that we had.
Yep.
We were worried about the sweetness though, and I think this being a little younger wine gave it a little more of a hint of sweetness, which we thought might work and better. But yeah, you guys are right. They make a fantastic Sauvignon Blanc, and they make it from a region. It's Alexander Valley, and that's not known for much Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay. It's really Cabs and Zins and your Bordeaux blends because it's pretty hot over there. But there are pockets where they can actually grow really nice Sauvignon Blanc and Chardonnay because I know Robert Young makes a great Chardonnay from over there as well. So a little shout out, Joseph Jewell, good idea.
Yeah.
Yes, you could actually do Sauvignon Blanc would not be a problem with that at all, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. So any other no bad stories.
That's good.
Do I have any bad stories
That's
out
good.
there? I've got other people that I know that are sitting here.
That stuff.
That's right. Do we have a good story? He has a good story? All right, let me go to one more. Let me go one more good story. Let me have a little taste of this again. Fuel for my body. Oh man, that's so good. We just brought that back in the room. We've been out of this, and that's the newest vintage, 2011. All right, so I've got another in-house story. Let me go over here to Russell. Come on over here. Hi, Russell.
Hello.
Not going to get me and him in the same shot. Okay, so tell us your Valentine story.
Well, it was last year. We were up in South Lake Tahoe. We had a big day planned to go out and walk along the beach. I had picked a nice bottle of Sauvignon Blanc to go with us. And it started snowing, and then we were planning on going to a restaurant at the Chart House. And what happened was it started blowing and blowing, so we made it back to the cabin and realized that we didn't have a lot of food and a lot of options for Valentine's Day because everything was closed. So we did have some fondue sauce, and we did have an apple, so we started a fire, and at some point the power went out, so we had a fireplace, sat by the fire, had a fondue, and that was our Valentine's Day.
Wow, that's a great story. Good job, Russell. Wow, another great story. You guys are storytellers. I like that. Wow. What about Loverboy over there, huh? Look at him. He's so suave and debonair. Look at him.
Look how dressed up he is. He's all dressed up.
Gotta love it. Andy, can you pan the room? There are people just sitting all ready to go to dinner and do fun stuff, and they're just having fun in the tasting room. You gotta love that.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
That's great.
All right, so back to the wine. Moscato, beautiful bottle of wine, $30. Winemaker there is Heidi Barrett. If you don't know Heidi Barrett, just Google the name. You'll get the real picture of who she is. She's a rock star, would you not say?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And all of my vintners, you guys are all rock stars. Don't get me wrong. But she's got a big, huge
Bottle shot.
Yeah, man.
She's a very
she's been doing this a
seasoned
long
winemaker.
time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But we're really blessed. Those
We
of
are.
you that don't know, Cellars of Sonoma is a collective tasting room. We've got 9 small producers. These are handcrafted wines. Some of the wines, like our friends from Joseph Jewell, some of his wines, he only made like 50 cases.
And they're scoring big points.
Big time. All
Big
his
time.
09 Pinots got over 90 points from Wine Enthusiast.
Yay.
From a new producer, that's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. So hats off to our small producers. And many of them have scored quite well. Bono just got a great double gold on his Chardonnay.
Right.
James family got a gold on his
And his Syrah.
Chardonnay and his Syrah. 96 points. I mean, come on.
I think
people.
we need to have like an accolades page. Andrew.
Yeah, right?
I think you need to do an
Where's
accolades
my
page.
Malbec? Okay, I need to have my Malbec. Our next wine is from Gann Family Cellars. It's a 2008, his second vintage of Malbec. Alexander Valley is, thank you, Kevin. Alexander Valley is to the north of our location and just a little bit east.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little warmer climate. Would you say it's a little warmer over there?
Absolutely, makes great white wines, Chardonnays, but exceptional red wines.
So
They love that heat.
Yeah, they love the heat. Malbec clearly loves the heat. This is a big favorite in the tasting room. Oftentimes in Malbec, you're going to find this grape blended into a cab, maybe in a Merlot. So you don't really realize half the time that you actually might see a little bit of Malbec in there, and you go, wow, I didn't know that was even in there.
Yeah, California Malbecs are deceiving because they
Yeah.
are wonderful standalone wines.
Yeah, especially one like this, because this is from a region where most of the wines you taste in Alexander Valley are going to have that soft, velvety finish. Wouldn't you say that silky finish?
Absolutely.
And that's a great characteristic for any wine, but certainly in Malbec. And it's a wine that even my biggest non-red wine drinkers can gravitate through this because the tannins are so soft.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we talk about tannins. We throw these terms out, and I just want to do a little education thing. And I want to do that. You know why? You're going to laugh. I saw a video today of Leslie Sabraco, and she was talking about swirling the wine in the glass and tasting wine, but the real basics. When we talk about tannins, tannins is what you get from the skin. If you buy a red grape, peel it, eat the skin, you'll get a sharp feeling right here in your jaw, right? That's tannin. The tannins, when they're soft, you don't get that. It's really soft and velvety. That's what you get out of this wine here. So a shout out to Leslie. We haven't seen Leslie in a while.
She's a lot of fun.
She's a hoot, man. So this is a beautiful, wonderful wine. So the cupcake that we've got, again,
so nice.
Isn't that nice? Mm-hmm. And again, it's from Sift.com, and you guys can order these, and they'll ship them out. I know they will.
Yep.
It's called The Sky is Falling. So tell us about this cake, Ange. Why'd you pick it?
It's just double chocolate goodness. I mean, you and I both love chocolate. And Giselle, I think, was the one who said earlier about the chocolate and red wine. I totally agreed. This wine goes so good with this chocolate. There's a tiny hint of berry flavor that brings out that, it actually brings it out in the cupcake, this wine. And I just think it's a perfect pairing.
Yeah. And again, it works. And, this is an unusual pairing. And we don't really look at cupcakes and say, gee, we want to have a cupcake to pair up with my beautiful, Malbec. But really, you can. You can enjoy that and not feel like, well, geez, I got to go pull the port out. Not to disappoint. Ports work well and you want them. But for everyday drinking, which we drink every day because that's what we do. No. You occasionally going to want to have, something that's versatile like that, and that works really well.
And what we experienced was just the fun of having a dessert tasting with wine. We don't often do that.
Right.
And it's nice to, here's a Valentine's treat for us. And it was a great exercise. And,
That's right.
We'll do this more often now.
Now, I get to throw in, a Valentine story. Mine are not that dramatic. You have to remember, we have been officially, as of June 18th of this year, we will be officially married 29 years, but together, 30. I always get corrected. My wife makes sure she's really clear on the 30, 30.
Yay!
And my buddy Russ and Nita, who are over here, who we just interviewed Russ with that cool story, they are in the same boat. They were married the same year as us, and they were together the same timeline. So I have many stories. But what's interesting is in the early years when the boys were really young, and those of you that don't know, the cameraman who's always behind the camera, we never really see him in front, Andrew, that's our son Andrew.
And he's our Valentine.
He's a Valentine. And then his twin brother Kevin works the questions and fields the stuff.
And he's our Valentine.
He's a Valentine too. We have one more son, Scott. Scott Lee, if you're watching, happy Valentine's.
Love you.
Yeah, we love. Well, you're assuming that he's watching. We can send him a link and then he can watch it later. But when the kids were really young, those were the early days, and in the early days, we didn't have a lot of money. We were trying to put food on the table. It was
and we
tough.
do now.
Well, it's a little different now. Yeah, that's right. First of all, they're out of the house, so we don't have that. Taking all that milk lasts for like 3 weeks, and then it goes bad. But when the kids were growing up, it was tough. It was difficult, and so there wasn't lavish dinners weren't part of the picture. Getting away for 5 minutes was actually pretty good because the kids, they were high maintenance. There were a lot that had to be done to watch this.
Very active.
Very active, yeah, I would call it active. But what we would do is we would grab a bottle of wine and we would drive up the hill above our house, and we would be in the car with our plastic cups and a bottle of Sutter Home, a bottle of Sutter Home white Zinfandel. And a beautiful white, with a cork. It had a cork. We had to use a cork puller to pull it out.
Yeah.
And our 2 red cups, and we would sit and watch the sunset, and we would drink that white Zinfandel. And those are moments. She's not buying into it now, but but at the time, those were our moments, and we enjoyed that. It was awesome. Yeah. Did you have a story, Kevin? Oh, a bad story. Ooh, it only took a little bit of wine to get them going.
So this is from Laura Rich, who won one of your games.
Laura, yes, Laura. How'd you like that wine? Did you get your wine yet? Go ahead,
in 1990, Kevin. She spent the whole day in Chicago shoveling 19 inches of snow.
Oh, brutal.
Luckily to make it home that night.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a Brutus story. So what was there waiting for her when she arrived?
Never made that far.
Oh.
She only gave me that much.
Wow. Okay. So she had to shovel 19 inches of snow. That's a lot. Yeah. 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 19 inches. Wow. Okay. So all right. We got our first bad story. Well, boy, she knows how to play the game here, right?
Yeah. Right. Wait till the end.
Go in the end and give us a bad story. You're going to win automatically. I just sent her. She just won the contest for 3 bottles of wine, and I just sent her her 3 bottles, which you have
good
already
job.
gotten, I hope. They did go out, so enjoy those and keep playing. That's what it's all about, and keep visiting us. That's what we really want you to do, is come here and visit, and we'll entertain you and tell you stories. All right, so let's pull 2 more names out of here.
Okay.
Let's see if we get a winner. 4 bottles of wine, $4. Not in 1,000 years. No, don't say that. Gosh darn it.
Okay. Russell.
Ooh, Russell.
Pentecost.
Oh, Pentecost.
707 area code.
Okay, a local guy. Come on down to the tasting room. Get your butt down here. If you're
Russell.
at dinner, just call us on the phone and tell us that you were listening in and you're in. Let's go one more here. God, I love it. Oh, it could be some famous person. Oh my gosh. Who is it?
Chandra Davenport. Ooh, 204.
204. The last one was 20.
Chandra.
The other one we had was
Davenport.
205. That was 204. I'm not sure if
204.
that's California or not.
No.
Kevin, find out where that's from, man.
No, I said 204. It's
Well, it's
214.
214.
214.
That's probably New York or something.
Chandra Davenport.
Dallas. Oh, Dallas. Great part of the world. You guys
Yeah,
are big wine lovers in Dallas. You cannot deny that. Okay, so let me give you a little recap of what we have going on at Cellars of Sonoma coming up this week. We've got Wednesday. We're back on schedule on Wednesday. We've got Ricky Allen Ray on Wednesday night for live music starting at 7:30. We've got Dustin Saylor on Thursday at 7:30. And I want to tell you, was it last week? It was. Yeah. Last week we did comedy in between his show. Oh my gosh, that was a hit. The place was packed. When we announced the comedy, you better reserve your table. We had a bunch of tables reserved. The place was packed. I mean, every inch of the room was full. That was fantastic.
That was.
Second Thursday of the month. So in March, the second Thursday, you guys got to come down and see the comedy in between Dustin's set. And then on Friday, John Pita, rocking the house. John's been doing a fantastic job and playing here now in his second year. He's been 2 years at least, right?
Yeah,
almost 3 years. That's incredible. And then Robert Herrera is this weekend, and Robert plays every other Saturday. And we love hearing Robert. Can't go wrong with that. We don't have any more football, so Sundays are a little different. But we love to have you come out and taste the wines. That's what it's all about.
Yay.
And we have a comment. Let's go to Kevin.
So response on Laura's, she had to shovel snow for 3.5 hours just to make sure her husband got home safe.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
And then the other part is...
Yeah, but why was that bad? I think that's a good story.
How was that good? Shoveling snow for 3.5 hours. Doesn't sound fun.
And then the other thing is, one of our wine club members, Brad from Wyoming, asked, so when does the next shipment come out?
Oh.
Oh.
Hey, Brad, I'll tell you what. The best...
Joseph Jewell wants to know, are they doing their meet and greet this Thursday?
Woohoo.
Yes, we're going to do. Yes, tell them that they're going to do their meet and greet this Thursday, and so you guys are going to be rocking the house. Joseph Jewell this Thursday in the tasting room. That's right. Thank you for reminding me. I've been a little amiss. I've been all over the place. Now the other question was next wine club shipment. The next wine club shipment for our first Sips Club is in March. And I've been looking at the wines that we're going to put in there, and you guys are going to love what I have figured out so far on that. You're going to absolutely love it. I'm not telling you, but we will send you an email and let you know. There are going to be 4 fantastic wines in that shipment that are going to be really, really nice. And so, yeah, you're going to absolutely. Well, I had a problem because December, I think I sent the best shipment since we opened. And I'm thinking, how do I top that? But we switch it up, and it's always different vintners every time you get in the shipment.
And I think we have a couple of new releases, right?
Yeah, we've got some new releases. The other thing too, we're going to be in barrel tasting. So those of you that are looking for a cool vacation, this is it. March, the first 2 weekends in March, starting on Friday, barrel tasting, 160 wineries. They all have food, and most of them have music. Barrel tasting right out of the barrel. Joseph Jewell, I hope, is going to be able to come in with a 30-gallon barrel and thief right out of the barrel. I mean, you'll taste it right out of the barrel. Nothing cooler than that. You'll be able to buy futures, where you get to buy the wine now at a nice discount, and we deliver it next year. Very cool. We'll have barrel samples of wines. What a great event. Awesome. If you guys are looking for the cool vacation, that's it. Weather's good. It's not perfect, but it's good. You might get a little rain, but that's the worst of it. If you're coming from a snowy climate, don't worry about it. My gosh, right?
Right.
Like, who cares? A little rain. No big deal. But the food and the wine, magnificent. Tasting out of the barrels. A fun time. Great event. Reasonable tickets. What are the tickets on that? $30? Did they say that
I think
they're 30?
They're 30 if you buy before, and 40 at the door.
Unbelievable. Wow. All right. So, anyway, that's coming up. So watch for the fun things that are happening. So any more stories? Last minute on the stories. All right. So we had how many do we have? We had Dan. We had Denzel had one. Al had one.
Russell had one. We had the amazing
Laura
wedding.
had one.
Yep.
And the wedding one. That's 6.
Yeah.
What if we just made them all winners? What do you think?
Let's do that.
All right. Happy Valentine's Day. You are all winners. You will all receive. Here's what you have to do, though. Those of you that are from outside the area, you need to call the tasting room, 707-578-1826, or email us and give us your shipping address, and we will ship out a bottle of wine. And you do have to send us $1 because that's the rule. You got to send us $1, so good luck with that. Stick it in an envelope, mail it off, and life is good. But that's a happy Valentine's to all of you.
Cheers.
And this is where you discover wine, one sip at a time, here at Cellars of Sonoma. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week live right here.
All right.
Thank you, honey. Happy Valentine's. Mwah. Love you.
Should I try to do so far?